You are possibly fed up with those old fairy tales where Rapunzel patiently waits in the tower for the prince to help her getting down, or where Sleeping Beauty basically sleeps the most of her own story. If you want fairy tales about women who are smart and take action, then stay here and share with your friends. So welcome to The Princess Left the Tower. My name is Marilda, and today I will tell you the story of Inami. This is a summary of a fantastic fairy tale by Anita Ganeri. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting facts about women. Long time ago, King Girish lived in India. He had two beautiful daughters, Kupti and Inami. One day the king asked them, "Dear children, do you trust me with your life and fortune?" "Yes, father," said Kupti. "No, father," said Inami, "I want to make my own way into the world." Thought the king, "I need to teach her a lesson." And so he sent Inami to live far away from the palace with a poor old holy man. The man was poor and sick, and Inami had to look after him. The princess found herself in a very miserable place, but she had a plan. She had no money, but the old man had 1 penny. So she decided to invest that last penny in buying some oil and flax yarn, and then she borrowed a loom and a spinning wheel from a kind lady. She used the oil to treat the old man's troublesome leg, and then she started to work on the spinning wheel. And soon she made the finest thread ever seen, and with that she made a beautiful cloth. Then she said to the old man to go to the market and sell that cloth for 2 gold coins, nothing less. And so he did. And they continued to work this way day after day. After a while, the old man's leg recovered, and the beauty of her cloth became famous. Soon they had enough money to build a new house. It was big and beautiful, and the king learned that Inami could manage to create her own fortune, and he was happy. One day the king had to make a long journey to the faraway kingdom of Dur, and before leaving he asked his daughter what they'd like him to bring as a gift. "A ruby necklace," said Kupti. "Patience," cried Inami as she was busy working when the messenger asked her. She meant to say, "Wait until I finish as I'm working," but the messenger misunderstood this as an answer. Patience, thought the king, and where should I buy this? Anyway, he left and went to Dur. There he sent his servants to buy a ruby necklace and some of his passions. And soon people started to laugh at this weird request, and the news reached the palace and the king of Dur. The king of Dur smiled and said, "If the princess wants passions, I know where there is some, but it's not for sale." Now, you need to know that the name of the king was Subar Khan, and Subar means passions. The servants begged him to give some of these passions, as Princess Inami was beautiful and hardworking, and they really didn't want to disappoint their father, the king. So the king decided to give them a golden casket. "This casket cannot be opened by everyone," he said. "Only the person who really needs what's inside will be able to open it. That person," she also said, "will receive some passions, but that will not be the passions that they were expecting." After a few days, Kupti and Inami received their gifts from their father. And Inami was quite surprised, as she didn't ask for anything. The old holy man tried to open the casket but couldn't. Then Inami took the casket and opened it easily. Inside there was a feather fan. Amused by the weird gift, Inami started to fan herself, and after 3 strokes, a person appeared in front of them. "Who are you?" they asked him. "I am King Subbar Khan, and the princess summoned me." He explained the magical powers of the casket and the fan, and told Inami that she could summon him whenever she wants with the fan, and then send him back home by tapping 3 times the table as she pleased. Inami was amused and started to talk with the king, and they began to spend several hours together every day. The holy man liked the king too, and they spent time playing chess at night. Their relationship was growing day by day, and Inami decided to prepare a room for the king in her house so he could stay and have some rest whenever he wanted. When Kupti heard about this handsome and clever guy who was visiting her sister, she was jealous and decided to go to Inami's place to check for herself. There, she saw Inami and Subbar Khan together, and they looked gorgeous and happy. But Kupti was the prey of nasty feelings, and she went to the king's room and scattered poison splinters of glass under the bed. When Subbar Khan lay down on the bed that evening, all of a sudden the splinters of glass pricked him all over. It began to burn, and soon he was sick. But he didn't say anything to Inami, so when she sent him back to his kingdom, he fell on his bed, couldn't move, burning in fever. The following days, Inami waved the fan, but the king didn't show up. She tried again, but she couldn't call the king. At that point, she was concerned and left to visit him in Dur. It was night, and she decided to have some rest under a tree, but couldn't sleep. There, she heard the voices of 2 monkeys talking about the king and this mysterious fever. And they also said that the berries from that same tree could help him to recover and live. The following day, Inami collected as many berries as she could and ran to Dur. There, she disguised as a young doctor, went to the market, and started to cry that she had a new, powerful medicine. The guards took her to the palace and let her enter the king's room, but she could hardly recognize him, as he was pale and thin and almost dead. She prepared a warm bath by using the berries, and the servants put their kings in the water. Soon he started to move a bit. The second day he could eat, the third day he could walk, and the fourth day he could sit on his throne. Subbar Khan wanted to meet the young doctor and thank him, and he wanted to give him gold and precious stones, but the young doctor refused. He didn't want anything. The only thing that he wanted, he said, was the king's silk scarf and his ring. And the king obviously gave him what he wanted, and then he left, and Inami went back home. Later that day, Inami waved the fan 3 times, and the king appeared. He was so happy to meet her finally, and he told her what had happened, and he told her everything about the young doctor. And then she showed him the silk scarf and the ring and said, "And those are the gifts you gave him, right?" In that moment, he asked her to move to Dur together with the old holy man and live in his palace. Inami accepted and went to Dur, and there she entered the Royal University to study to be a doctor. And they spent fabulous time together. So I hope that Inami will inspire you to take action today to build the life you love. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao!